My friends, as we step into 2025, the world continues to evolve at a rapid pace. With technology advancing, social media thriving, and our lives seemingly more public than ever, the boundaries between what's personal and what's shared have blurred. But let me remind you, not everything belongs in the spotlight. There is wisdom in discretion and power in keeping certain aspects of our lives private. Let's explore 7 things that, if guarded, can lead to a more peaceful, secure, and fulfilled life. Your dreams and goals. When you set your heart on a vision, keep it close. There's something sacred about dreaming something that loses its magic when shared prematurely. Others may not understand or might unintentionally sow seeds of doubt. Protect your goals like a precious seed, nurturing them in silence until they bloom into reality. When you have a dream or a goal in your heart, it's like a seed planted in fertile soil. At first it's fragile. It needs time to grow roots, to gain strength and stability before it can weather the winds and storms of life. That's why it's so important to keep your aspirations close, to guard them as though they're your greatest treasure. You see, not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will cheer you on or believe in the possibilities that you see so clearly. And that's okay, because your dream was given to you, not to them. We're eager to share our dreams with others, hoping for validation or encouragement. But what happens when their response isn't what we hoped for? Maybe they dismiss it, saying it's unrealistic. Maybe they laugh, question your abilities, or unintentionally plant seeds of doubt. Suddenly, the dream that once seemed so vibrant starts to feel distant and dim. That's why there's power in discretion. Keeping your aspirations private allows them to grow undisturbed by the opinions and judgments of others. There's wisdom in nurturing your goals quietly. It's not about being secretive, it's about being protective. Imagine a gardener planting a rare and precious flower. The gardener doesn't announce to the world where the seed is buried or how it's being cared for. They work in silence, watering, weeding, and watching over it with patience and care. Only when the flower blooms does the world see its beauty. Your dreams are no different. When you keep your vision private, you give yourself the freedom to dream without limits. You can explore possibilities without the fear of criticism. You can make mistakes, adjust your course, and learn along the way without feeling the weight of external scrutiny. Privacy creates a safe space for growth. It's where your confidence can take root and your resolve can deepen. The people closest to us are the ones who unintentionally discourage us the most. It's not because they don't care or want the best for us, but because they see the world through their own lens of experiences and limitations. They might project their fears or doubts onto you, not realizing the impact it has. But remember, your dream doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. It only needs to make sense to you. There's a quiet strength in walking your journey without needing applause or recognition along the way. The path to fulfilling your dream is often lonely. It requires focus, determination, and resilience. If you're constantly looking for approval or trying to explain your vision, you'll waste energy that could be spent on building your dream. Let your actions, your progress, and your results do the talking. Think about the people you admire most, the innovators, the leaders, the trailblazers. Many of them worked in obscurity for years before the world noticed their achievements. They didn't seek validation. They stayed committed to their vision, even when no one else could see it. That's the power of moving in silence. It's not about hiding. It's about positioning yourself for success without unnecessary distractions. And when the time comes to share your dream, when it's strong enough to stand on its own, you'll do so with confidence. You'll speak from a place of experience and conviction, not from a place of seeking approval. By then, the dream will no longer be just an idea. It will be a reality backed by your hard work and perseverance. Protect your dreams. Nurture them with care. Share them selectively with those who genuinely support you and understand your vision. And even then, share just enough to invite encouragement, not interference. Your journey is yours to take. Your vision is yours to fulfill, and your success is yours to celebrate. Trust the process, trust the timing, and trust yourself. Your dream is worth protecting because it has the power to change your life in ways you can't even imagine yet. Stay focused, stay committed, and let your results be the loudest voice in the room. There's a profound beauty in understanding that not everything about our lives needs to be on display. We live in a world where sharing every detail has become the norm, but some things are meant to be kept private, cherished in the quiet spaces of our hearts. Among the most sacred of these are the relationships we hold dear. Protecting the details of our relationships doesn't mean secrecy, it means safeguarding the bond that unites us from unnecessary scrutiny, judgment, or interference. When we think about relationships, we often focus on the joy and connection they bring. But every relationship also has its challenges, moments of misunderstanding, and times of growth. These are natural and necessary, but they are also deeply personal. Sharing those moments openly can expose the relationship to opinions and judgments that were never asked for and may not align with the truth of what you're experiencing. Think about it when you open a window, both fresh air and dust can enter. Similarly, when you expose the details of your relationship to the world, you invite both support and criticism. But here's the thing, not everyone has your best interests at heart, and not everyone understands the dynamics of your connection. Sometimes even well-meaning advice can create confusion or doubt where there was once clarity. Protecting your relationship from these external forces is an act of love and wisdom. It's also important to recognize that privacy strengthens trust. When two people can share their struggles, dreams, and growth without fear of those moments being broadcasted, it fosters a state of safety and intimacy. It says what we have is valuable enough to keep between us that sacred trust becomes the foundation on which the relationship is built. It's not about hiding flaws, but about nurturing a space where both people can be vulnerable without fear. There's a lesson in discretion that applies not only to romantic relationships, but also to friendships and family connections. When you choose not to share every detail, you allow the relationship to grow authentically, free from the weight of external expectations. It's about focusing on what truly matters, your bond, your understanding, and your shared journey, rather than the opinions of others who aren't living your life. Privacy in relationships also allows you to navigate challenges with grace. Every relationship faces tests, and how you handle those moments defines the strength of your connection. If you're constantly seeking validation or sharing struggles with others, you may miss the opportunity to resolve them together. There's power in facing challenges head on, in the quiet determination to work through difficulties without an audience. That quiet strength often leads to deeper understanding and a stronger bond. When we look at relationships through this lens, we realize that discretion isn't about exclusion, it's about inclusion. It's about saying, this is ours to cherish and protect. It's about creating a sacred space where love can thrive, free from the distractions and opinions of the outside world. And when love is nurtured in this way, it has the power to grow into something truly beautiful, something that stands the test of time. Now let's consider another aspect of privacy, your plans and goals. Much like relationships, your aspirations deserve protection as they take root. Not every idea needs to be shared. Not every dream needs to be announced. When you keep your plans private, you give yourself the freedom to grow without the pressure of external expectations. You create a space where you can explore, learn, and adapt without the fear of judgment or interference. Think of it like building a masterpiece. The artist doesn't share their work in progress with the world. They spend hours, days, even years perfecting their craft, making adjustments and adding details until the vision in their mind becomes a reality. Only then do they unveil it, confident in the work they've created. Your goals deserve the same care and attention. When you share your plans prematurely, you risk diluting your focus. Opinions flood in, some supportive, others critical, and before you know it, you're second-guessing yourself. But when you move in silence, you allow yourself to stay aligned with your vision. You stay true to your purpose, unaffected by the noise of the world. This doesn't mean you can't seek guidance or support, but it means choosing carefully who you invite into that process. There's also a certain power in surprising others with your results rather than announcing your intentions. When you've achieved something significant, the impact speaks for itself. It's not about proving anything to anyone, it's about fulfilling the purpose that's been placed in your heart. And when you've done the work quietly, the satisfaction is even greater because you know it was achieved through determination, focus, and faith. In a world that often encourages us to share everything, there's wisdom in keeping some things private. Whether it's your relationships or your goals, discretion is a form of protection, a way of honoring what matters most. It's about creating space for growth, trust, and authenticity. And when you live with this understanding, you'll find that the most important aspects of your life, the ones that truly define who you are, flourish in ways you never imagined. Keep what's sacred close and watch as it blossoms into something extraordinary. There's a profound power in understanding that not everyone is meant to have access to the depths of your emotions. When life challenges you, when circumstances push you to your limits, it's easy to let those emotions spill out into the world. But wisdom teaches us that there's a sacred strength in holding them close, processing them, and choosing the right time and space to share or not share at all. When you guard your emotions, you're not suppressing them. Instead, you're giving yourself the opportunity to reflect, to understand what you're truly feeling, and to decide how best to respond. In the heat of a moment, emotions can cloud your judgment, causing you to react in ways that don't serve you. But when you step back and process privately, you regain control. You allow your actions to be guided by clarity rather than chaos. Think about it, emotions are powerful. They have the ability to uplift, to connect, but also to overwhelm. When you share them indiscriminately, you risk exposing yourself to misunderstanding or judgment. Not everyone will understand your journey, and not everyone is equipped to handle your vulnerability with care. Protecting your emotions doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means being intentional about where and with whom you share the deepest parts of yourself. This intentionality also builds resilience. When you can process emotions internally, you develop a strength that isn't dependent on external validation. You learn to navigate life's ups and downs with a steady heart, knowing that your peace doesn't rely on anyone else's approval or understanding. This kind of inner strength becomes a foundation for facing life's challenges. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about cultivating a quiet confidence that says, I can handle this. When you manage your emotions wisely, you set an example for others. People around you notice how you carry yourself, especially in difficult times. Your calmness, your ability to think before reacting, inspires trust and respect. It shows others that there's a better way to handle life's storms, a way that brings growth rather than destruction. There's another layer to this. Protecting your emotions doesn't just benefit you, it also strengthens your relationships. When you're careful about how and when you express your feelings, you create an environment of mutual respect and understanding. You're not putting the burden of your emotions onto someone else. Instead, you're inviting them into a space of thoughtful communication. This deepens connections and fosters trust. Consider also how this practice aligns with your overall well-being. When you let emotions dictate your actions, you can find yourself drained, scattered, or even regretful. But when you take the time to process them, to sit with them, and to understand them, you're nurturing your mental and emotional health. You're giving yourself the gift of peace, even in the midst of turmoil. Now let's talk about the value of patience. Life often presents us with situations that test our ability to wait, to trust, and to believe in the unseen. In these moments, it's tempting to force outcomes, to rush decisions, or to react impulsively. But patience isn't just about waiting, it's about waiting well. It's about trusting that everything is unfolding in its own time, and that forcing a solution often leads to unnecessary complications. Patience teaches to lean into faith, to trust that the answers will come when they're meant to. It's a reminder that growth takes time. Just like a seed doesn't turn into a tree overnight, the results you're working toward require nurturing, persistence, and trust in the process. When you embrace patience, you free yourself from the stress of trying to control every detail. You allow life to surprise you with outcomes even greater than you imagined. This doesn't mean being passive. Patience is an active practice. It's choosing to keep moving forward, to keep sowing seeds, even when the harvest seems far away. It's about staying focused on what you can do today while trusting that tomorrow will bring what's meant for you. And in that space of trust, you find peace. You discover that life flows more smoothly when you're not constantly fighting against it. Let's reflect on the importance of gratitude. In every season of life, there's something to be thankful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, from what's gone wrong to what's going right. It's a practice that transforms not only your perspective, but also your energy. When you live with gratitude, you attract more of what you're thankful for. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It means acknowledging them while also recognizing the blessings that coexist with them. It's about seeing the lessons in the hardships, the growth in the setbacks, and the beauty in the everyday moments. When you cultivate a grateful heart, you find joy in places you never expected. You realize that life is full, not because it's perfect, but because it's rich with opportunities to learn, grow, and love. When you express gratitude, you also inspire others. Your appreciation for life's blessings becomes a beacon of light, reminding those around you to look for the good in their own lives. It's a ripple effect that spreads positivity and hope. In protecting your emotions, practicing patience, and living with gratitude, you create a life that's grounded in peace, strength, and joy. These practices aren't just habits, they're a way of being, a way of navigating life with wisdom and grace. And when you embrace them, you'll find that even the most challenging moments can be stepping stones to something greater. There's a certain strength that comes when we embrace the power of timing. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every action needs to be taken immediately. And not every opportunity needs to be pursued the moment it arises. This is not hesitation, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that timing matters. Life has a rhythm, a divine order. And when you learn to move in harmony with that, you unlock a flow that leads to better outcomes than you could ever force on your own. Think about those moments when you've rushed into something because it seemed urgent or because you feared missing out. Maybe you've spoken too quickly, acted too soon, or pushed ahead without waiting for clarity. Often these hurried decisions bring stress, complications, or outcomes that fall short of what you'd hoped for. But when you take a step back, when you allow yourself the grace to pause and assess, you position yourself to act with precision, purpose, and peace. Patience is not passive. It's a deliberate choice to trust that everything has its season. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up the next day to see if it's growing. You water it, nurture it, and trust that with time, it will sprout. Life operates in the same way. There are seasons of planting, seasons of waiting, and seasons of harvesting. Each one is vital, and when you try to skip a step, you disrupt the process. Waiting for the right moment doesn't mean doing nothing. It means preparing. It means using the time you have to grow, to learn, and to get ready for the opportunities that are coming your way. When you're intentional in the waiting, you're not wasting time, you're investing in it. You're positioning yourself so that when the moment comes, you can step into it fully prepared and confident. There's also a peace that comes with trusting the process. So often we exhaust ourselves trying to control things that are beyond our power. We want to make things happen on our timeline, in our way, without realizing that sometimes the delays are there for a reason. Maybe the door isn't opening yet because there's something better being prepared for you. Maybe the waiting is meant to teach you patience, to refine your character, or to help you avoid a misstep. And here's the beautiful thing: when you operate with this mindset, you start to notice the subtle signs that guide you. You become more attuned to the opportunities that align with your purpose and more willing to let go of the ones that don't. You stop chasing after what's not meant for you and start attracting what is. This is not luck, it's alignment. It's the result of trusting that the right doors will open at the right time and that you don't need to force your way through. Patience also builds resilience. When you learn to wait with grace, you strengthen your ability to endure. You develop a mindset that isn't swayed by every challenge or setback. You start to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as part of the journey. You understand that even the delays and detours have a purpose. They're shaping you, preparing you, and positioning you for something greater than you can see right now. This perspective changes everything. Instead of feeling frustrated by what hasn't happened yet, you start to feel grateful for what is happening. You realize that every moment has value, that every season has lessons, and that nothing is wasted. Even in the waiting, there's growth. Even in the uncertainty, there's purpose. And when you trust in that, you find a peace that carries you through. Let's also consider how this mindset impacts your relationships. When you're patient, you're not quick to judge, quick to speak, or quick to react. You give people the space to be themselves, the grace to make mistakes, and the time to grow. This creates a foundation of trust and respect, strengthening your connections with others. Patience is a gift not only to yourself, but to those around you. It says, I believe in you. I trust the process. I'm willing to wait for the best in you to shine. There's a quiet confidence that comes with this kind of patience. It's not about being passive or indifferent. It's about being grounded. It's about knowing that what's meant for you will not pass you by, and that rushing won't bring it to you any faster. This confidence frees you from the pressure to prove yourself, the need to compare yourself to others, or the fear of falling behind. You're no longer running someone else's race. You're walking your own path, one step at a time. Patience is a reflection of faith. It's believing that there's a plan, a purpose, and a timing that's greater than your own. It's trusting that the delays aren't denials and that the waiting isn't wasted. When you live with this kind of faith, you find joy in the journey, not just in the destination. You start to see every moment as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to prepare for what's ahead. Patience isn't just a virtue, it's a way of life. It's a practice that leads to peace, purpose, and alignment. And when you embrace it, you'll find that the very things you've been waiting for have been waiting for you too. All it takes is the courage to trust the process and the wisdom to wait with grace. Life has a way of teaching us lessons through the challenges we face, and one of the most profound lessons is the importance of being intentional with our energy. Too often we spend time and effort trying to fix what isn't ours to fix, control what isn't ours to control, or hold on to things that no longer serve us. This isn't just exhausting, it's counterproductive. When we learn to let go of what's weighing us down, we create space for what truly matters. It's a shift in mindset that leads to freedom, clarity, and peace. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks, each one representing a burden you've taken on, unresolved conflicts, toxic relationships, unnecessary worries. The longer you carry that weight, the harder it becomes to move forward. You feel drained, stuck, and unable to enjoy the journey. But what if you started taking those rocks out one by one? You'd feel lighter, more energized, and better equipped to focus on what's ahead. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing to release what no longer aligns with your purpose. It's about recognizing that not everything requires your attention or effort. You don't have to fight every battle, respond to every criticism, or fix every problem. Sometimes the best thing you can do is step back and trust that things will work out without your intervention. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's understanding that your energy is precious and should be invested in what truly matters. When you let go of what's not serving you, you create room for what is. You open yourself up to new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your values and goals. It's like clearing out a cluttered room. Once you remove the unnecessary, you can see the beauty of the space and imagine its potential. The same is true for your life. When you let go of old habits, limiting beliefs, and toxic influences, you make room for growth, healing, and success. This shift isn't always easy. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to face discomfort. But it's worth it. Think about the times when you've held onto something too long, a job, a relationship, a grudge. What did it cost you? How did it hold you back? Now imagine the freedom of releasing it. That's the power of letting go. It's not about forgetting or ignoring. It's about choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and growth over stagnation. Letting go also allows you to focus on what you can control: your attitude, your actions, and your perspective. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't change the past, but you can choose how it shapes your future. This is where your true power lies, in your ability to take ownership of your life and steer it in the direction you want to go. When you focus on what you can control, you regain a sense of empowerment and purpose. Another beautiful thing about letting go is that it frees you from the need for validation. When you stop trying to prove yourself to others, you can start living authentically. You don't need everyone's approval or agreement. You just need to stay true to yourself and your values. This doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop letting their opinions define you. When you let go of the need for external validation, you find a deeper sense of self-worth and confidence. Letting go isn't just an act, it's a mindset. It's a commitment to prioritize your well-being, protect your peace, and align with your purpose. It's a reminder that you are not responsible for carrying everything or fixing everyone. Your energy is a gift, and when you invest it wisely, you create a life that is rich, meaningful, and fulfilling. So take a deep breath, release what's weighing you down, and embrace the freedom of letting go. You'll be amazed at how much lighter, brighter, and more joyful life becomes. The most profound lesson we can learn is the power of trust. Trust in the journey, in the process, and in the timing of our lives. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the uncertainties and setbacks we face. But the truth is, every step has its purpose. When we let go of the need to control everything and learn to trust, we unlock a peace that transcends understanding and a strength that carries us forward. Trust is not just a feeling, it's a decision. It's choosing to believe that even when the path seems unclear, there's a greater plan at work. Life isn't always going to unfold the way we expect or on the timeline we envision. There will be delays, detours, and disappointments, but that doesn't mean we're off track. Often, what feels like a setback is actually a setup for something greater. The challenge is to remain patient and faithful, even when we can't see the full picture. Think about a seed planted in the soil. For a time, it's buried in darkness, seemingly inactive, but beneath the surface, it's growing roots, gathering strength, and preparing to break through. The same is true for us. Sometimes we're in seasons of preparation where we can't see progress outwardly, but growth is happening within us. It's in these times that trust is most important. Instead of doubting, we need to nurture the seed with faith, knowing that in the right season, we will see the harvest. Trust also requires us to release the need to have all the answers. It's human nature to want to understand the why behind every situation. But some answers aren't revealed until much later, if at all. When we demand immediate clarity, we often miss the beauty of the unfolding. Trust allows us to embrace the mystery of life, to find peace in the not knowing, and to remain open to unexpected blessings. It's about being present in the moment, knowing that each day holds its purpose. Another aspect of trust is learning to let go of what we can't control. There's a peace that comes when we stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow life to flow naturally. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent. It means we focus our energy on what we can influence while surrendering the rest. Trying to control everything only leads to frustration and exhaustion. Trusting the process frees us from that burden and allows us to move forward with grace and confidence. Trust is also about believing in our worth and potential. Too often we let self-doubt and fear hold us back from pursuing our dreams. We question whether we're good enough, whether we have what it takes, or whether we're destined for something greater. But trust reminds us that we are more capable than we realize. The very fact that we have a vision or desire in our hearts means we have the potential to fulfill it. Trusting ourselves means taking steps forward, even when we feel uncertain, and believing that the path will become clearer as we go. When we cultivate trust, we also deepen our resilience. Life will inevitably bring challenges and setbacks, but trust helps us navigate them with strength and grace. It's the anchor that keeps us steady in the storm, the light that guides us through the darkness. Trust doesn't eliminate challenges, but it changes how we face them. It gives us the courage to persevere, knowing that every difficulty is shaping us, strengthening us, and preparing us for the next chapter. Trust is an act of faith. It's choosing to believe in the goodness of life, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. It's choosing to believe that we are guided, protected, and loved, even when we feel alone. Trust isn't always easy, especially when we face disappointments or delays, but it's always worth it. It's the foundation of hope, the source of peace, and the key to living with purpose and joy. When we live with trust, we experience freedom from worry, from doubt, and from the need to control everything. We begin to see life not as a series of obstacles to overcome, but as a journey to be embraced. We become more present, more grateful, and more open to the possibilities around us. Trust transforms not just our perspective, but our entire experience of life. It invites us to live fully, to love deeply, and to walk boldly into the future, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The power of trust is transformative. It teaches us to embrace the unknown, release control, and have faith in the unfolding journey. Trust allows us to see challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities for growth and preparation. It helps us find peace in the present moment, strength in uncertainty, and confidence in our unique path. When we learn to trust in ourselves, in the process, and in the timing, we unlock the freedom to live boldly and joyfully, knowing that every step is leading us closer to the story we are meant to live.